नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। सुमसंपकत कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विघ्नोति सुहृत्सताम्। नष्टप्रायेषु भक्तेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 21, Text 34. आशौ इहानेक गुणो गुणोद्वारा पृथक्विदा द्रव्य गुणात्मयोक्तिः सम्पोज्यते रहस्य लिङ्गनामाभिः विशुद्ध विज्ञानगणा स्वरूपता। आशौ इहानेक गुणो गुणोद्वारा पृथक्विदा द्रव्य गुणात्मयोक्तिः सम्पाद्यते अर्थस्य लिङ्गनामाभिः विशुद्ध विज्ञानगणा स्वरूपता। आशौ इहानेक गुणो गुणोद्वारा पृथग्विधा द्रव्य गुणो क्रियोक्तिः सम्पाद्यते अर्थस्य लिङ्गनामाभिः विशुद्ध विज्ञानगणा स्वरूपता। ज्ञानेन गुणो गुणोद्वारा पृथग्विधा द्रव्य गुणास्य लिङ्गनामाभिः विशुद्ध विज्ञानगणा स्वरूपता। असौ विज्ञानेक गुणो गुणोद्वारा पृथग्विधा द्रव्य गुणात्मयोक्तिः सम्पाद्यते अर्थस्य लिङ्गनामाभिः विशुद्ध विज्ञानगणा स्वरूपता। असौ इहानेक गुणो गुणोद्वारा पृथग्विधा द्रव्य गुणात्मयोक्तिः सम्पाद्यते अर्थस्य लिङ्गनामाभिः विशुद्ध विज्ञानगणा स्वरूपता। आशौ, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Iha, in this material world. Aneka, various, guna, quality, aguna, transcendental, advara, yajna, pratakvidha, variety, dravya, physical elements, guna, ingredients, kriya, performances, bhukti, by chanting different mantras, sampadyate, is worship, artha, interest, ashaya, purpose, linga, form, namabhi, name, vishuddha, without contamination, vijnana, science, prana, concentrated, swarupatha, in his own form. Translation and purport by His His Divine Grace, Abhishek Narayan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada speaks that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental and by this material world. But although he is concentrated spirit soul without material variety, for the benefit of the conditioned soul, he nevertheless accepts different types of sacrifice performed with various material elements, rituals, and mantras and offered to the demigods under different names according to the interest and purpose of the performer. Please repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental and not contaminated by this material world. But although he is concentrated spirit soul without material variety, for the benefit of the conditioned soul, he nevertheless accepts different types of sacrifice performed with various material elements, rituals, and mantras, and offer to the demigods under different names according to the interests and purposes of the performers. Of course, for material prosperity, there are recommendations in the Vedas for various types of yajna, sacrifice. In Bhagavad Gita 3.10, it is confirmed that Lord Brahma created all living entities, including human beings and demigods, and advised them to perform yajna according to their material desire. Saha yajna praja. These performances are called yajnas because their ultimate goal is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. The purpose of performing yajnas is to get material benefits, but because the aim is to simultaneously satisfy the Supreme Lord, such yajnas have been recommended in the Vedas. Such performances are, of course, known as karma kanda or material activities, and material activity and all material activities are certainly contaminated by the three modes of material nature. Generally, the karma kanda ritualistic ceremonies are performed in the mode of passion. Yet, the conditioned souls, both human beings and demigods, are obliged to perform these yajnas because without them one cannot be happy at all. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura comments that these karmakanda ritualistic ceremonies, although contaminated, contain touches of devotional service because whenever there is a performance of any yajna, Lord Vishnu is given a central position. This is very important because even a little endeavor to please Lord Vishnu is bhakti and is of great value. A hint of bhakti purifies the material nature of the performances, which by devotional service gradually come to the transcendental position. Therefore, although such yajnas are superficially material activities, the results are transcendental. Such yajnas as Surya Yajna, Indra Yajna, and Chandra Yajna are performed in the names of the demigods, but these demigods are bodily parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The demigods cannot accept sacrificial offerings for themselves but they can accept them for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just as a departmental tax collector of a government cannot collect taxes for his personal account, but can realize them for the government. So any yajna performed with this complete knowledge and understanding is described in Bhagavad Gita as Brahmarpana, or a sacrifice offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since no one but the Supreme Lord can enjoy the results of sacrifice, the Lord says that He is the actual enjoyer of all sacrifices. Bhoktaram Vishnu Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Sacrifices should be performed with this view in mind, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.24. Brahmarpanam Brahmahave Brahmatnau Brahmahutam Brahmaiva Tena Kartavyam Brahma Karma Samadhinam. A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. The performer of sacrifices must always keep in view that the sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas are meant to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishnu Aradhyate Panta, Vishnu Purana 3.8.9. Anything material or spiritual done for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord is understood to be an actual yajna. And by performing such yajnas, one gets liberation from material bondage. The direct method of getting liberation from material bondage is devotional service, comprising the following 9 methods. Navadipati. Shamanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Achanam, Vandanam, Dashyam, Satyam, Atmanivedanam. Bhagavatam 7.5.22. This ninefold process is described in this verse as Vishuddha Vijnana Dhana, or satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly by transcendental knowledge concentrated on the form of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. This is the best method for satisfying the Supreme Lord. One who cannot take to this direct process, however, should take the indirect process of performing yajnas for the satisfaction of Vishnu or Yajna. Vishnu is therefore called Yajnapati. Priyapati, Yajnapati, Jagatpati. Bhagavatam 3.9.15. The Supreme Personality of Godhead's deep scientific knowledge is concentrated to the supreme point. For example, medical science knows something superficially, but doctors do not know exactly how things happen in the body. Now Krishna, however, knows everything in detail. Therefore, his knowledge is Vijnana Gana because it does not have any of the defects of material science. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Vishuddha Vijnana Gana, concentrated transcendental knowledge. Therefore, even though he accepts karma khandiya materialistic yajnas, he always remains in a transcendental position. Therefore, the mention of Aneka Guna refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead's many transcendental qualities, for he is not affected by the material qualities. The different kinds of material paraphernalia or physical elements are also gradually transformed into spiritual understanding because ultimately there is no difference between material and spiritual qualities, for everything emanates from the Supreme Spirit. This is realized by a gradual process of realization and purification. One vivid example of this is Dhruva Maharaj, who took to meditation in the forest to achieve material benefit, but ultimately became spiritually advanced and did not want any benediction for material profit. He was simply satisfied with the association of the Supreme Lord. Ashaya means determination. Generally, a conditioned soul has a determination for material profit. But when these desires for material profit are satisfied through performance of yajna, one gradually achieves the spiritual platform. Then his life becomes perfect. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10 therefore recommends Akama Sarvakamo Va Moksha Kama Utharati Vivrena Bhakti Yogena Yaveta Purusham Param. Everyone, whether Akama, a devotee, Sarvakama, a Dharmi, or Moksha Kama, a Jnani or Yogi, is encouraged to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the direct method of devotional service. In this way, one can get both material and spiritual profit simultaneously. And seek blessings from all the devotees who are assembled so that I can speak what Prabhupada is saying. So Prabhupada actually mentions in this purport very nice process of devotional service and why it is recommended to do the yajna. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental and not contaminated by the material world. So we know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is not contaminated even though he comes to material world to do his pastime. But he is beyond the modes of material nature. So when he actually takes the offerings, whether it is a material performance or spiritual performances, but he doesn't attach to those. But he takes our offerings to give us blessings. Because that's why he accepts just for our own, purification. And all these mantras and rituals offered to the demigods under different names are actually directly goes to Krishna says Bhagavad Gita, the worship of demigod is like less intelligent people worship demigod. Because whatever we offer to demigod ultimately goes to the Yajna Purusha, who is Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Because he is the Yajna Purusha. All the performances or sacrifices goes to Lord Vishnu. So even though we offer to demigods, the demigods actually in turn offers to Vishnu. So they take on behalf of Lord Vishnu, but those should go to them. So in the Prabhupada actually mentions in the purport that, suppose if you do the karma kind of spiritual activities or ritualistic process, it's not bad to do that, but at the same time you should have an understanding that the ultimate enjoyer is Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. So these demigods are like the different departmental heads, and Lord Krishna is the ultimate supreme. So we can offer to them with the understanding that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and they actually offer to Lord Vishnu. So if Prabhupada is giving one example that how the tax collector, goes to different places and collects taxes for the government, not to their personal account. So in the same way, like different demigods or different, there are different demigods who actually collect these offerings of the people and ultimately, submits to the Lord Krishna or Vishnu, who is the supreme, is like a government, right? So that is a process recommended here because he is Yajnapati. Lord Krishna or Vishnu is Yajnapati, and he gets all the offerings. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur actually mentions an important point that, because in general, in ISKCON, we actually forbid these karmakanda activities. We say we don't want to, do karmakanda activities. We want to directly go to devotional service. What is the use of these karmakanda activities? Because, people who are karmis, they do karmakanda activities. And we actually know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the use of all these yajnas and sacrifices? Just follow the 9 parts of devotional service, Shamanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Swanam. There's nothing else required. But for the people who are like beginners, for them it is difficult, very difficult to leave what they were doing and adopt this Navavida Bhakti. So for them, we should not just like be like a fanatic and you stop whatever you are doing and just follow our process. You'll get all the benefits. But what Vishnu Chakravarti mentions is even though Karmakanda ritualistic ceremonies although contaminated, contain touches of devotional service. Because ultimately, what you are doing, even though it's a ritualistic activity, but there is a process of worship is there. So you are not doing some material activity. It's the process of worship. Even though you are not worshiping Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, it's using like some a process of worship. But whatever you are doing is ultimately goes to Lord Vishnu, because if he gives the central position instead of worshipping a demigod, just if Lord Vishnu gives the central position, then there is no problem with doing any kind of ritualistic activity for the benefit of people and for the benefit of mankind. Uh, so that's what he mentioned. A tinge of bhakti purifies the material nature. Because any activity if we do, actually a lot of people we should chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Because it is mentioned that in the seventh canto, Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that all mistakes in the any performance you do, just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once, everything will be rectified. There is no problem. So whatever kind of activity we do, ultimately we say Brahmarpana or Krishnarpana. So because the ultimate enjoyer is Krishna. That's why Bhoktaram Yajna Sarvaloka Maheshwara. So he is the ultimate enjoyer. If we have that kind of understanding that it is everything goes to Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we can do all the different kinds of yajna. But sacrifices should be performed with this view in mind, because Brahmarpanam Brahmahadya, because ultimately it goes to Krishna. And Prabhupada is mentioned that like all, even though you do everything, but it is for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. So that's why instead of following different process, just adopt this nine Navavida Bhakti. Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Achanam, Mandanam, Dashyam, Satyam, Atmanivedanam. And so people, because there are different kinds of people approach the Lord. Because we know, like people who are in distress, people who are want knowledge, and people who want to get some material benefits, and ultimately people who want to go back to Vaikuntha planet. So these different kinds of people approach Supreme Lord. So, but we should know what is the ultimate goal. Because akama sarva kamova moksha kama udhati tibrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Like everyone, whoever is like, suppose a karmi, or a jnani, or a yogi, or a devotee, whoever approaches Supreme Personality of Godhead by direct method of devotional service using Navadita Bhakti, ultimately they go back to Godhead. Just it's a matter of time. Because the devotee goes back to the next life because he gets purified faster. But a karmi who adopts to this karma kind activities and ultimately reaches the devotional service, it may take time, but ultimately he will get the benefit also. Similarly, a jnani or yogi, they have to get purified to adopt this to devotional service, and ultimately they get the the profit. So Prabhupada says that see, a lot of people they worry about our material profit because we want some immediate result. We are looking for some immediate result. Oh, I'm doing this, so I should get this. So, but if we are like have show patience and tolerance to automatically we get the material benefits when you adopt to the devotional service. Because the material, things will be taken care by Supreme Personality of Godhead because Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. He loves his devotees. So ultimately, whatever we desire, he will fulfill. So we don't need to have an extra effort to achieve the materialistic, profits or benefits. If we just follow the devotional service and process, then Krishna fulfills us. Krishna is taking care of all the devotees here. Because all the devotees here, right? You are fully depending on Krishna. You are fully depending on Krishna. You are fully depending on Krishna. He takes care of us. Otherwise, in every living entity, not only human beings, all living entities are they are getting their food every day. They are getting everything what they need because Krishna, arranges everything for for everyone. So instead of paying for material benefits and doing some like some kind of activity, we can just follow the devotional service and appreciate the supreme person of Godhead. Then ultimately we get whatever we need. Our aim is to go back home, back to Godhead. So ultimately we get that liberation. But the ultimate goal is to get Krishna praying, pure love of Krishna, then everything else follows. But in this verse, actually, Karma Kanda is also recommended for the people who are like beginners. We don't want to shut down them, whatever they are doing, but ultimately we should give them the understanding that whatever you are doing is okay, but make sure Krishna is the supreme person of Godhead. He is the ultimate enjoyer of that. So that's what I you share about your realization. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Pancha Secretary, used to pass into the